Okay, so the last video for this week, and so I think I'm making probably more cooking videos because we're being inspired. Definitely another cooking video, and we'll see what else. But yeah, wow, this show. I told you guys I'm on a show rampage today. This week, cooking and shows. That's good, and music, yeah, Liv and Maddie. Wow, that is such an iconic show. I feel like everyone, if you love Disney, especially original shows, you would love Liv and Maddie. And I know I've seen a lot of commentary to this show, so it's not like people don't talk about it, but it's one of my favorite shows, so I love it. And I don't know, I just also had a random thought. I'm like, I should make Liv and Maddie because why not? Yeah, so I actually do have a couple of friends, and I've taught a couple of students, especially my mom's business, that are twins. So I know a little bit about twin life, but it's still nice to definitely see a little bit about twins. And obviously there are different types of twins, but I feel like whenever you think of twins, you think of the identical twins. Which, I mean, sometimes you see fraternal twins in shows, but it's more like identical twins. I feel like that's very popular to talk about when you reference twins. So a little bit about this show, and to kind of break it down psychologically, because that's what we do. That is our motto in life. And yeah, so this show is very cool for the fact that it has two twins, but they're still their own person, but they still love to be with each other. And what I mean by is that Liv is a celebrity. She lived in LA for a while. She done tons of films, but she came, and music. I think she also does music too in the show, but she comes back to her hometown because she misses her home and she feels like she just wants a little bit of normalcy, and that's totally fine. It's always nice having a little bit of that normalcy-ness to it, especially as being an artist. I feel like having some normalcy in your schedule, in your life, is nice. So I feel that. Yeah, so she's just very girly, very fashionable, really into the arts, loves to, pretty confident, obviously she performs constantly. You kind of need to be confident. Yeah, and just likes to, just bubbly and optimistic and all that. And then Maddie. Oh, Maddie is so different. I mean, she's also confident too. And there's definitely similarities, obviously, because they're siblings, but she is definitely more tomboy. She plays basketball. She's really into sports. She's the captain of her basketball team. She really wants to go into the best, I think, basketball school, which she does later in the show. So definitely kind of like her sister, where she's a go-getter, and she wants to do things, and she's always first. But the only difference, I would say, is just that she is just more tomboy, and she's definitely more of the normal one from the two. And I think from the family in general, she's definitely much more grounded as an individual, definitely. And then I forgot everyone's names. Oh no, the mom is also a therapist, and is the school therapist, and even the principal, which is funny. And then the dad, he's the basketball coach, so it makes sense. She kind of got into her dad's perspective. And then Joey, there you go. He is the nerd of the show, and then Parker, he's also nerdy, but he's more scientific. He's more logical, and he just loves to pick on Joey. Which, I mean, Joey is that character, Sally, so I don't know. I did like Joey personally. Hashtag Joey. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the family, and everyone has their own roles in the show and has their own speaking parts, and same with like Doggo Vlog, like it's more family oriented, so they like every character has the role on the show, and like has their perspective taking on things. But I'm mainly just talking about like the main characters, because they're the ones that center the story, and it's what the story is mostly about, is on the main characters. And so with Liv and Maddie, really kind of the main storyline to Liv and Maddie is that Liv is coming back to her hometown, and so she's kind of reorientating herself to her family and to her old friends, and just kind of trying to see her person again, because she was in LA for so long that and she's been like in films, and like she's been in that like more, I don't want to say it's fake, but it's like in a world where things are just more glamorized, and people are just more skill-based and more like it's so hard to explain like because I'm also an arts person too, and so like being an artist, like it is glamorized, but it's glamorized because of how good you are, if that makes sense, like of your like technique and of your just like drive to do that. Like being a celebrity, you need to be good at something, right? But in the Hollywood sense, it's more also, it's a little bit sexualized in some points, and you kind of see this in the show a little bit. They do touch on it, not a lot because it's Disney, but they definitely touch on it. And yeah, so just like coming from a glamorized world, a very like just there you go, very produced type of world, to a more real and more like grungy and more grounded world. So it's definitely taken her a lot of like perspective taking, I would say that. And then for Maddie, yeah, I mean like her sister is back, and whether someone that you love or that you haven't seen in so long is back, it kind of is a little weird, because it's like, oh wow, you're back in my life, and I haven't really seen you in so long, and I've already made life outside of you. How do I like come back to you? Like, how do I find those similarities that we had before to now? Because they were driven apart because they wanted to pursue something big, and Maddie, she wanted to do basketball and stay in her hometown. So now that they're back, it's just it's definitely taking a lot of perspective taking. I think you can definitely sense that, and also just a lot of just normalizing yourself to something that you thought would never come back, and is back, So it's like, it's a very interesting dynamic, because they're the same person, because they're identical twins, but they're not at the same time. And so that's why I really like the show, is it shows like the struggles of being a twin, which I don't really know any twins that one of them is a celebrity. So that's definitely very much like more of a show thing, but I think you can definitely take from it that, especially if you have someone that you just miss, you haven't seen in a while, me for in college, to my home, back to my, especially being, spending some time at home and in college, it's definitely it's a lot of perspective taking, definitely, and a lot of just kind of figuring out who your people are and how you can relate with those people, because you've, haven't been in that proximity for so long, and that's another thing that close proximity is such a talked about thing is because, you can only really enjoy somebody, you can only really like somebody when they're present with you, when they're with you, right? So yeah, it's a lot about that. And I mean, this show is also so fun, and I mean, it's not like as deep as I'm making it to be, but if you psychoanalyze it, definitely there's a lot of like that for sure. Um, but yeah, I don't know. This show is just so fun, and it's also just great representation of what who twins are, and just yeah, it just kind of shows like how just kind of what happens when you leave your hometown, and you leave the thing from your past and come back to it, really, and I feel like truly that we can all relate with as an audience. And I don't know who watches my channel, watch Liv and Maddie, but I don't know, I just think it's so fascinating and so like an interesting thing to think about, and all that I'm talking about is like, oh yeah, actually that makes more sense now that I've watched it and I'm talking more about it. But yeah, I don't know, this show is just so it's so iconic. I don't know how to explain it. It's so iconic. It's definitely one of the more popular shows for sure. Also, Beth Cameron is just such a bop. We love her. She's amazing. And it's also insane that she played both of those characters. I know she had doubles, so it was definitely plausible, but it's still just like, also, I wanted to mention that too, being able to act two different characters in one setting, in one show, like that's a lot of talent, and that's also just a lot of, again, perspective taking, and also just a lot of trying to get yourself perspective taking, like trying to get yourself into someone else's shoes, while also looking like them. And I don't know, that's just truly, that is a lot of talent to have, and to be able to also sound different, to walk different, it's a lot of just kind of getting yourself out of the box type of thing. I know there's most likely been other actors who do that, but that's the only actress I know that's done that, and that's impressive to me, and I think that's why I really like this actress especially, was that she's able to really take herself not too seriously, but still serious enough where it's like she can see herself in different people, as truly. So yeah, anyway, the show is so iconic. I really don't know how else to explain it. It's one of those things where it will live in my brain rent free for sure. It is truly just, it's so awesome. I love this show, truly one of my favorite shows. But yeah, so I hope you like it. And that's really all I have to say about this show too. There's really not a lot to really like talk about. That's just like interesting to talk about and to break it down. But so I hope you like it, and see you guys next time. Bye.